Hey everyone, RogueGold here. Welcome back to the Division 2. And today, maybe you've heard, or maybe you just wiped it out from your memory, but we got a new exotic rifle in the new season that launched this week. It's called the Bittersweet. And until the past 2 or so days, I was definitely in that latter camp, right? As soon as I heard that we were getting a healing slash support rifle, I was like, we've already got the Doctor Home. That one's not all that great. So I'll admit, I didn't really give the Bittersweet the chance that a new item deserves. I didn't test it much on the PTS, didn't pay much mind to it overall, but I'll tell you what, boy was I wrong. Now, per usual, I want to give a disclaimer as I know somebody is going to roll in here saying, well, this isn't as good as a glass cannon striker build with a fully optimized Lexington, and to that I would say, you're correct. This is a support-focused weapon at heart, but what I will stand by is the fact that in my testing so far, this has perhaps been the most effective bridge between a team support, self-healing, and high damage building option that we've had in a long time, if ever. And with the way I've set this up, I'm able to provide my teammates with huge amounts of healing, keep myself topped off at the same time, and still have enough damage to take out legendary difficulty enemies with just a few shots to the head. It's quite fun. So, if that sounds at all appealing to you, or perhaps like me you overlooked the Bittersweet too, then stay tuned. If you enjoy this one, and you want to stay tuned for all of my future coverage on the Division 2 coming up, then be sure to subscribe, shout out, and thank you to our channel members just for being awesome. Your continuous generosity allows me to keep making these videos, so thank you so much. But, without further ado, let's get to this. Okay, so here is the Bittersweet. I do have the exotic skin on for it that they put in the store, just because I thought the gold is pretty cool. Now, obviously, the glowing like drum mag there is kind of sick. If you want to see the base skin, though, this is it right here. It's an M1A archetype of rifle, so it's got, you know, pretty slow RPM, but pretty good damage. The base magazine is at 20, but really the part that we care about is down here with its talent, which is called Transfusion. So let me break this down for you, but then I will explain why I originally wrote this thing off when it's actually quite good. So it reads, hitting headshots builds stacks up to a max of 8. When shooting an ally or skill, repair them for 50% of the weapon's total damage value for each stack. Healed allies will receive 50% of your repair skills bonus as bonus armor for each stack for 10 seconds. All hits are guaranteed headshots for 8 seconds after healing an ally or skill while at maximum stacks. Okay, so there's a couple of parts here that again I originally just kind of looked over or didn't fully comprehend. Firstly, both when it comes to the healing properties as well as the bonus armor application, I don't think I really fully took into consideration that it was saying per stack, because at face value, if you look at it like, oh, I'm healing an ally for 50% of my weapon's damage, or I'm only giving them 50% of my repair skills, it's actually not that. That's per stack. So if you multiply that by 8, that is when you get some crazy values that even like the tankiest, you know, player out there, the tankiest build that you can put together, one shot of transfusion at 8 stacks is going to bring them right back to full and give them more bonus armor than they know what to do with. So the healing properties of this thing, again, are way better than I thought. But then also it's that final paragraph that I really didn't give enough consideration to begin with. Because after you heal somebody, when you have maximum stacks, you then get guaranteed headshots for 8 seconds. And what that means is that this talent becomes very chainable. I don't know if that's actually a word, but hopefully you get what I mean. Let me go and show you in the shooting range here what exactly I mean. So again, because you just have to build up 8 headshots, and then you can heal somebody. We'll do it right here. And it starts building down on the HUD. You can see the bar there is slowly filling up towards 8. So I just need one more. There we go. Now it's all filled up. What I'm going to do quick is set this to maybe a boss or something, just so that I can show you a little bit easier. So obviously we don't have an ally here with us to heal, but what I can show you is how it works with a skill. Because it does say that you can trigger it off of that. So even though I would say this is more catered toward group play, you can technically use it solo. So again, I have 8 stacks. I'm going to go and shoot my hive. Then it procs. The mag turns green on the skin, which is pretty cool. But you can then just hold the trigger down, and anywhere you hit an enemy on the body, it's going to count for a headshot. This is also very nice within legendary content specifically because of how many robotics the Black Tusk have. You can just shoot a Warhound and it will count as headshots. So again, that is really where the damage component to this comes in that I was not really thinking of to begin with. but again, we just did that loop of activating the talent, and I'm already at max stacks once again, and that's because, again, anywhere counts as a headshot. So as long as you spam those shots out and rebuild the stack counter, there we go. It's ready to go again. So it's truly that chainable aspect of the transfusion talent that really is quite good and effective in combat. And on top of the huge healing values that the Bittersweet can provide, this is what I think makes it a pretty good support weapon for even, you know, up to legendary content. Okay, so I loaded into a quick legendary mission here to better demonstrate how exactly this works. Okay, I just got max stacks with transfusion, as you can see on my HUD. I'm gonna wait for Mr. Mark there to get a little bit lower, just so that you can fully see how much this heal is gonna do. Elite shot rolled in with a healer build here. You're messing up my flow, man. Okay, there we go. Mark's getting hit. I'm just gonna shoot him with it. Look at how much bonus armor that just gave him. Not only would it have restored his entire armor bar, but it just gives tons of additional protection. And again, I missed my window there to capitalize on the guaranteed headshots just because we were staring at him. But you get the idea of once you pop it once, you can really get the chain going for quite a good amount of time. And you'll see that if I'm able to headshot a few of these guys, the damage is there. Like, that's kind of what the build is speccing into. But you can absolutely still, yeah, 4 million for a headshot crit. 3.2. One other pretty neat part to this is that, look, if I shoot somebody else, oh, that just healed me up fully too. How am I doing that? Well, let's go and take a look at that next. Okay, so this is kind of the final component to this all, is that I believe I found a pretty cool synergy with the Bittersweet, and that is a gear set that you would not normally see rolled red, but here we have it, Future Initiative. Now, why is this so good? Well, let's go through the perks. Firstly, the two-piece gives us repair skills, which if you'll recall from the Bittersweet's talent, that increases how much bonus armor we're giving our teammates. Then we get skill haste and duration, which doesn't directly benefit what we're trying to do, but it does mean that on this build where I have only one skill tier, my decoy does have a nearly 30-second uptime, which is quite nice. But the real magic for future here comes in from the four-piece, which is ground control. Firstly, it's an additional buff. It increases mine and all allies' total weapon and skill damage by 15% when I'm at full armor. But to ensure that I remain at full armor, because that was one of kind of the downsides with the Bittersweet originally when I looked at it, was that's great that it heals teammates for so much, but it doesn't do anything for me. And while you could absolutely run this in a full healer capacity, I really wanted to do something where I could still deal damage, heal teammates, but also keep myself alive. And that is exactly where Future comes in, because the second part of that is when you repair an ally, you and all allies within 5 meters of you are also repaired for 60% of that amount. So again, because we're like over healing these people for their regular armor by like 2 or 3 times with 8 stacks, it means that basically anytime I shoot an ally with the built up healing bullet, that's going to heal me too. So it's just a really nice synergy. Again, this is not like the highest damage version of this build. I've already seen a lot of people do full high-end builds with this, just going full red, full rifle buffs. And you could absolutely do it that way, 100%. But again, I think this just plays into the loop of the Bittersweet's talent quite nicely. And honestly, I was surprised that this counted for the 4-piece of Future. I thought that maybe it would be coded differently to where the Bittersweet healing wouldn't count as healing an ally or repairing an ally as this says. But no, it does. So that was pretty cool to find out. But yeah, other than running Future, everywhere else on this setup, I've just gone for full damage. We have 1 piece of the SP Zoo brand set, which Ninja Bike is taking to 2-piece, getting that extra mag size and rifle damage. I'm running glass cannon on here. You don't have to. I tried a variation with spotter and running the, technician drone down here, but it ended up being just a little bit too micromanagey for my taste. So glass cannon works pretty well. I've got foxes, as of course they offer really good rifle bonuses. And then yeah, even though Ninja Bike is typically not recommended for a lot of builds because it will decrease your overall DPS, it was one of the only ways I could really achieve this combo that I was going for, which was 4-piece Future plus still having the bonuses from Overlord and Zoo. You'll note that I only have 1 additional repair skills attribute on this entire build, and that's the mod slot on the Ninja Bike. So in total, all I have is 50% repair skills, right, from the 30 there and the 20 there. And yet, you saw how much bonus armor I was able to apply to that teammate. You really don't need all that much for a transfusion to kick in and do its thing once you build up to those 8 stacks. So it's quite nice. And then finally, pretty much everything else is spec'd into headshot damage. You saw how much I was able to hit those legendary adds in total, and this is not quite fully optimized, but we're currently hitting 167.3. So once again, especially because I have chosen to go with Future Initiative, this is not the highest damage variation of this you could have, but I'd say it's quite a fun one, and it'll keep you healed up while you are taking down enemies and keeping your allies alive. Okay, well, there you have it, everybody. That is a breakdown and a more in-depth look at the new Bittersweet Exotic Rifle. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly had a lot more fun playing with this thing once I got a better grasp on its talent. So, hopefully this teaches me that I should always test before writing something off. At this point, I would love to get your guys' thoughts on this new exotic. Have you used it in game so far? If so, what do you think about it? Or if you would kind of cast it aside like I did, does this motivate you to get back in and give it a shot? Wherever you may be on it, I'm curious to hear your thoughts below. That is going to do it for me on this one though. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you back soon. RogueGold.